This is Shelf Space. Oh man, this one's going to be fun. It's the second installment of the Aisle Moonwalk, my bonus series where I walk the grocery store with a chef who's also a CPG entrepreneur. This time it's with Spencer Watts, co-founder of Chef's Day Off, a line of flavor-packed dressings and sauces rooted in kitchen culture. Spencer chats through his take on product development, branding, recipe formulation, consumer demand, and his own personal health transformation. This is a rich one that I know you're going to find super entertaining, trust me. But before we get into it, of course, a galactic shout out to the partners who make Shelf Space possible: Rima, TD Business Banking, Pacific Coast Distribution, Benchmark 60, Fasken, and Picnic Creative. Here's my grocery shopping adventure with Chef Spencer. Spencer, I'm glad we're doing this. We're shopping. We're actually in the grocery aisle right now, and we're standing in front of your product. These are your babies. These are your children.
Feels so good to see them.
And they're not fallen and broken on the ground. Or right? Pushed to the back.
They look pretty.
The facings are solid.
Yeah, they're not hidden anywhere. They're like, come and get them.
They're not hiding behind a bag of potato chips.
Yeah.
Some random weird section. First thing I got to say is I love the tape, the Sharpie marker on the tape. When I first saw that on your packaging, it brought me back to those younger days when I would work in the kitchen and all the times of just like writing stuff out. I remember sweating like, my chef had the best writing. So
yeah.
I would like practice with my Sharpie to make sure that when I made labels for the food stuff that my chef would
they look cool.
Label.
Yeah.
You know those days you stretch out the tape on the
and then you go 10 and then you just cut them up.
You slice through them and you mark them all, and the chefs would always be like, who labeled that in the cooler? Like, great job.
That's cool. And I think a lot of people get it when as soon as they see the bottle, they see the painter's tape with the permanent marker writing, and then they read the label Chef's Day Off. They go, yeah, totally get it.
It's kind of an insider play, though.
It is an insider play, but it's almost become popular with shows like The Bear or Momofuku's line of stuff that's like really grounded in kitchen culture. And I hope people get it. I think they get it. And it's almost like a little magic trick, because people will come up and almost like take the corner of their finger and it's like, does this come off? So
I did it. I just did it really ago before you got here.
It makes us smile. That's what it's all about. And I think people, so far when they see it, they get a good chuckle out of it and understand what the brand's trying to do right away.
Yeah. So for listeners that might not be familiar with what you make, talk to us about Chef's Day Off.
Chef's Day Off, dressings and sauces made nice with quality ingredients, is a line that I developed with a good friend of mine named Nathan. We're in a commissary kitchen writing some recipes for one of my cookbooks. We were talking about a salad dressing that they had pulled off the market. And we said to each other, we should make salad dressings. We're in a commissary kitchen. That day, Chef's Day Off was born, and we really started with making something that we felt was taken off the shelf, and that was like a house vinaigrette. But we wanted to do that formulation so it would work well with salads that we like. And I love a salad with like bitter greens and fruits and cheese and nuts. And then the other two dressings in the line were something that I think is really easily downloadable for the consumer and fun to use, and that's a Greek-style dressing. So Chef's Day Off makes Get 'em to the Greek. And then the third formulation that we did was something called Legendary Ginger Soya. And you can't call something legendary unless it's earned. And we've been making a formulation of that dressing for 10 years working in restaurants. And it's so good. I mean, Chef's Day Off Legendary Ginger Soya, there's 8 ingredients in it, but it tastes like it's doing 100 things. And as chefs, that's our job with our palates, is to take things to the absolute limit. Acid, sugar, heat, sodium, and just kind of make it like an explosion on your mouth. So that was the idea behind the brand. Really approachable dressings that are packed with flavor, balance, and tension.
Love it. And it tastes great. And this category is, there's a lot of familiar brands here.
Mm-hmm.
We see a lot of Kraft. We see a lot of Rihanna's.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to ask, when you're walking into these retail conversations, you're having a lot right now because you're new, but you're pushing heavy in.
Yeah.
What are the retailers saying? Are they like, yes, help us with this set, help us with this planogram? Or are you coming in and just like song and dance and hoping for your shot?
Yeah, we're kind of doing a little bit of both. It is a heavily saturated market. And when we told people we're getting into the dressing game, they said, "Oh, get ready for a ride." But I think our branding, our story, the fact that it's made for flavor, not necessarily shelf life, separates it apart. I think our clear label and the flavor formulas hopefully will outshine a lot of the other products. And you say that there's a lot of products here, and there's some of these dressings that I really love and I really use. So we feel kind of like proud to be in the same arena as these people, but a lot of unknowns. But our idea was just to come with a delicious product. And in our game, in the chef life and the shelf culture, flavor wins. It just wins. That's what separates a great restaurant. That's what separates a great experience is flavor. So hopefully that's enough to be on the shelf for a while.
I think you're doing it, and you're having some wins right now. So you must be looking at your overall operation, saying like, what do we do to make this work, to be better, to be faster, to be more profitable?
Yeah, a lot of it's so similar to the restaurant industry because I think you learn a lot in the field and a lot of baptism by fire. You got to fall on your face. And the amount of things that we've learned along the way it's so unknown. But yeah, as chefs, you just pick yourself up and you keep moving forward. So yeah, lots of things are coming in, but we've got energy for it. And we just feel like if there's a challenge in front of us, we'll figure out how to do it, move forward. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Because there's a lot of it between like how fast can the production run go? How long does it last for? What are the logistics like for the distribution and stuff like that? All of these come into play when you're launching a CPG brand that's local. And yeah, some of it comes easy and some of it doesn't come easy at all, but we take it head on.
Yeah, I love it. Now I see 3 SKUs in front of me here. What's in the innovation pipeline for you guys?
Yeah, we intentionally called it dressings and sauces made nice. One, because it is a dressing, but if you get them to the Greek, pour that over chicken thighs overnight and then grill it, it's the best souvlaki you've ever had. So it was intentional to put dressings and sauces because we see the line going further. We originally had 5 formulas. So there was house vinny, get them to the Greek, legendary ginger soya, bento box vinaigrette, and sherry maple bacon, but we're advised to start with 3 and then move into it. And then if you get some success, further out the brand. But can chefs stay off do an 8-hour marinara? Yeah. Can we go into barbecue sauce? Yeah. Can we go into lots of other different formulations that span more than just dressings? That's kind of the whole idea. Whether we get there or not is a different story.
What about food service? Obviously, you're on the chefing side, so that's built in. But are there pathways for chefs stay off to get into food service and to expand engagement with consumers in a different place and space?
Yeah, we talk about that very thing a lot because we've worked in hotels our life. So many of our friends, so many of our colleagues are at the helm of very large hotels. So if we do food service, getting that vetted into those establishments could be good for us and we could have a straight path there. But that also comes with, Chef Stay Off is a very clean label. Legendary vinegar, legendary ginger soya has 8 ingredients in it. You can pronounce every one of them, but it tastes like it's doing 100 things. To go into food service, that formula has to be kind of rebuilt. It has to be completely emulsified because as a chef, I know how they're going to use it, right? It's going to be in a big tub. They're going to open it. They're going to dump it into a bowl, put it on a banquet, marinate it in big batches. So it needs to be completely emulsified. So we want to make sure that if we change the formula and can get it into food service, that it still resonates with our story of like a clean label, ingredients that you can pronounce and make sure that it works both for the food service and both for the brand and the vision. Yeah, even our co-packer does these small little packets. They've just got a machine to do packets for quick service at delis and stuff like that. So again, starting this brand, there's so many unknowns and you come up to these things. You're like, hey, that could be a cool idea. How do we do that?
Well, how do you make those decisions? There's lots of good ideas. They all sound expensive.
They all sound expensive. The thing is like, can these 3 things work hard enough for us that we can start looking at those different options? And we got lots of plans in the back pocket. We want to make sure that those 3 get their day in the spotlight and that a lot of people can share them and fall in love with the brand Chef Stay Off. Then global domination.
What are we going to do tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Take over. We do every night. We'll get back to the show in just a second, but I want to take a quick moment to tell you about a shelf space partner that I feel brings a lot of value to the food service side of our industry. Benchmark 60 are data-driven, operations-focused consultants who specialize in helping restaurants boost productivity, get labor costs back on track, and increase profit margins. Their approach focuses on improving employee retention and operational efficiency, all without compromising the brand experience. I'm thrilled to have Jim Taylor and the Benchmark 60 group as a part of the Shelf Space family. Their support and influence is playing a vital role in expanding our programming beyond consumer goods and grocery, and I encourage you to check them out and pick up Jim's book at benchmark60.com. Okay, let's get back to the show. So we're looking right here. We see an on sale. You're doing a price promotion. Oh, sorry. The grocery store is doing a price promotion. This is not. Are you out of your mind? Do you know it? Was this your idea?
Yeah.
So it was listed at $8.99. It's on sale for $6.59. And when you look at the set and you look at all the other tags.
Yeah, there's a lot of on sale right now.
A lot's on sale. That's pretty typical, right?
Yeah.
A lot of sticky notes everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Your commodity or sort of, your traditional, I don't know if traditional is the right word, but sort of the usual suspects.
That's a great term for it. Usual suspects
are about half the price. They're also conveniently on sale. My guess is they're always on sale.
Yeah, they are.
I had a question I was going to ask you about when you guys are talking to the retailers about ways that you can support it and ways that they're going to support the launch of a new product. What was it like to have these conversations around pricing?
Well, we want to make sure that it's a fair shot for everybody. And we don't want to put a product out there that's unreachable for the consumer, or it doesn't have the value equation for the buyer and the distributor. So we're fine taking, not as big of a margin so people can get it and enjoy it. As a chef, both Nathan and I, it's like our job to bring people together. So if we can bring people together for $8.99 instead of $11 looks sweet. And 11's like, oh yeah, but $8.99, and that's a fair market value for the rest of the product on the shelf. We're right in the sweet spot. We can do it for that price. Yeah, that's important to us. We want to be on an even playing field with everybody else and have everybody enjoy it, because that's the main goal. We want people to like our stuff because we do too.
Yeah, I love it. Well, let's walk over to the produce section, because that's where you guys. That's where the magic comes together. Do you remember that Seinfeld episode where there's the talk about the big salad?
No, I don't.
Oh, do you ever watch Seinfeld?
Dude, okay. So there's a couple trains I missed, and I missed the Simpsons train and I missed the Seinfeld train. I'm fans of both of those, but I'm not as deep into it as some other people.
Right.
I love and appreciate it, but I just, for some reason, I don't know, I was in the backyard trying to light stuff on fire those years.
Yeah. So the big joke is, George Costanza buys a big salad for his friend Elaine, but the girlfriend takes credit for it.
Right.
She was with him when he bought it. So she gets the big thank you. So I say this all because in my home, when you talk about big salads, I always have this little Seinfeld.
Okay.
And then that usually triggers more Seinfeldisms. And then the whole meal is just...
Yeah, you're in the rabbit hole of Seinfeld.
Yeah. Someone will say something about Friends and then we're off from there. You actually commented like some of your favorite salads are like the big salads where there's a lot going on. There's sweet and savory and crispy and
it's all about texture. And then, like a vinaigrette it works really good when it's got high acid, good sodium, good sweetness, kick from the vinegar, because lettuce is very bitter. So you want to be able to cut right through that. And then the stuff that you put on a salad also has no trouble announcing itself, like roasted nuts and goat cheese or blue cheese or candied pecans or craisins or fresh apple. Those things are all very strong and powerful. So in our case, for Chef's Day Off House Vinny, we wanted to make a dressing for intention. So this is for those big salads, and forever our algorithm for a salad on a restaurant menu, cheese, fruit, nut. You got to do cheese, fruit, nut. It gives you crunch, gives you sweetness, it gives you the bitterness from the lettuce. So in our case, House Vinny was intentionally made for those big, bold salads with cheese, fruits, and nuts loaded to the gun walls.
Love it. That sounds amazing. So here we are. We're in the produce section looking at all this stuff.
But quite a beautiful produce. It's so aesthetically pleasing, and your mind just runs wild.
I love it.
How beautiful
and one of the ways they do that is the lighting. Do you notice?
Lighting is so good.
The lighting across all of the produce, right? Typically what you see, especially, the organic section where like the weird bastard child in the produce section knows to do that.
Yeah.
It's actually poorly lit.
It's like all dark.
Dingy. But no, this does look great. What's the consumer sentiment around salads? Like, are you seeing a growing trend? I know there's always the trend, if you will, but I mean like significant movement. Are people buying and using a lot of fruits and vegetables at home, or are you seeing sort of a strain on that side?
I don't think I'm seeing a strain, but I also think it's always been part of the dinner time story. Because even myself as a working chef, when I go home, I love to have a big crunchy salad and a starch and a protein. And it's just always been part of my story on the table, a salad. I think for like a bag of lettuce, a couple apples, and a thing of nuts, it's fairly cheap too to get a lot of food. You feel good eating it. You see a lot of quick service in grocery stores. There's a lot of packaged salads and they fly off the shelf. I've even talked to some universities and stuff like that. And it's just quick, it's fast, it's easy to eat, it feels nutritious, and it's delicious. So I think whether it has these journeys of highs and lows, I think it's something that will stand the test of time, either on your dinner table or a quick on-the-go healthy lunch. I think salads have their own little runway.
Yeah, when I travel, say on BC ferries, and everyone's in line for their burgers and fries, I always get the quinoa salad. It's got a bunch of stuff in there, and it feels, I get energized after eating. And it takes me 25 minutes to eat this big salad.
Yeah. There's a value perception there. Like getting the burger is fun, but you're going to be full, super satiated. Then you're going to get tired. And I think a lot of, especially now, people like to know what's in their food. And with access to information, we're starting to see the bright light and the dark light on some of the things in food culture, like those heavy items that are grounded in comfort food and what's really in them. And it's like the gas tank in your car. If you were just to put peanut butter in it, it's not going to work, right? So if you're at the ferry and you get one of those big quinoa salads, there's good value perception there. It's super delicious and it keeps you running, right? You don't feel exhausted, tired. You're on your feet.
Their dressing selection is not so good.
We're trying to change that.
I'll see if I can help.
Yeah.
When I get the little pouch, they're $2 a pouch. You get one.
Yeah, it's an add-on, right?
One for free, and the second one, I don't know what it was, but it was.
But you always need the second one.
Especially with all that, it's like 400 pounds of romaine, and they're like, I need like a bucket of dressing to get through.
Yeah.
But the dressings are underwhelming, to say the least. Back to the brand. So chef-owned brands and chef-presented brands are becoming more common.
Yeah.
You guys didn't put a name on it. You created, Chef's Day Off. Was there ever discussion around, hey, let's put your name on it, or your found, like, was there sort of a way to look at this differently, or sort of how it's played out?
I think Nathan and I really wanted it to just stand out for what it is. And then if we can add a little color to that in the back end, then that's great. But we wanted a brand that was recognizable, that like, hey, this is a chef-driven thing, right? It says it in the name, Chef's Day Off, with a painter's tape, what the ingredients are in it, how it tastes. And we thought like, hey, should we put our faces on the bottle? And like, should I super promote it as Chef Spencer Watts or Chef Nathan Ray? We're like, no, let the sauce and the dressing speak for itself. And then later, as the growth happens, hopefully the growth happens, and we can add more personality and more story to it. If you go on the Chef's Day Off website, you see both Nathan and I in the element in a professional kitchen. And that's kind of part of the brand story, but it's not front and center. It's like, it's nuanced and in the back end, and we like that. What we also like about the product is that there's a person and a face and a story behind it. So it's not just a randomized sauce. There's a story of kitchen culture and balance. And, Chef's Day Off wants to celebrate that food culture, whether you're somebody who likes to go out and have a craft beer and a really nice bite, or you're somebody who goes to a kitchen shop and gets a new pot and stir the Sunday away, right? Or if you're somebody who's always watching food shows, or we wanted to make Chef's Day Off not only a product line, but build a culture around food. And if we can add some extra elements to that with our face and our story, then absolutely.
Well, and part of your story is that you've gone through a transformation with your own health. I think I saw something about you dropping 30 pounds in a relatively reasonable amount of time.
Yeah. And honestly, that's half the reason for making a clean label that performs really well. I have 2 young daughters and was living out of the playbook of a chef. And I just thought like, hey, it might be time to like focus on my health a little bit. I got 2 little girls to take care of. I want to be the best they make me the best version of myself. So yeah, I started eating really clean and going to the gym a lot. And I think my journey is a lot of other people's journeys in life. I think a lot of people can relate to that. You know, there was this misconception of being in a kitchen. You had to be this kind of like life devouring pirate. And it's not that. That's been changed out for rucksack workouts and push-ups. And I think that's cool. And I think, you know, we're talking about the salads and stuff like that. I think health and what we put into our bodies is more relevant than it ever has. So my personal journey definitely is inside that bottle, but it still tastes like you taste one of those dressings and it'll break your heart and blow your hair back. You know?
Love it. Well, I got 2 more questions for you. Let's wander a little bit.
Sure.
My first question is, and usually I start with this, so I'm breaking my own rules here.
I like that.
If there's one innovation that you could see in the grocery store, what would you love to see change?
I don't know. I have this love affair with the grocery store because my world revolves around food. Coming to a grocery store for me is like a kid in a candy store. And I just love searching around, love getting inspiration. And there's been so many positive changes in a grocery store. You see products over time that were just stuffed away in these very small boutique grocery stores. And now they're having visibility in mainstream, like burrata, like truffle, like bone-in large format steaks in the counter. So it kind of changes with my expectation. And I don't know. I just, being in this industry is hard. And I don't think there's one thing necessarily.
Are you seeing too much homogeneity? Are you seeing too much like large format?
Yeah.
It's pretty niche and not a lot of
pretty niche.
it. Like we're probably not going to see a big like surge in truffle oil, but it lands in a category of finer product. Maybe it's imported,
right.
Or maybe it's more delicately a craft made. It's sort of it's a nuanced ingredient across all this commodity food.
Right. Well, the commodity food is the big one that you see, and not to walk away from the question that you asked, but you start to see these kind of flavor profiles that get really popular, like Calabrian chili or truffle or butter chicken. And now it's almost to the point where if you walk through the grocery store, truffle isn't special anymore. Truffle's in the prepackaged frozen pizza. Truffle's in the prepackaged sauce that's a frozen meal, right? It's gone from this opulent ingredient to this mass-produced flavor agent that goes on things that might not necessarily belong on. So if there is one thing I could change about the grocery store, it's like those niche, cool ingredients that have just, I think, gone a little too far. You know, butter chicken, pot pie, pizza. You're like, okay, both of those things are great, but like together,
so maybe
dial
down the innovation.
Dial down the innovation again. But at the same time, as consumers, you see things on social media and you're like, truffle's cool, let's have it on McNuggets, or like caviar is cool, let's have it on McNuggets. It's sometimes we get into this space where we're doing things just because we can do them, not necessarily because they're awesome.
Like a creatine salad topper, right?
Yeah.
That's the part.
But honestly, I mean, we're in the frozen food section right now. And if you look at all of the pizzas and all the flavorings and stuff like that, I'm talking about the truffle and stuff like that, or the prepackaged meals. I mean, some of the flavor combinations are popular, and I think they're just part of it because they're popular, right? It hits this placement of like either viral or trending, and there's no stopping that train. There's just no stopping the truffle on everything, caviar on everything train.
I had some truffle potato chips not that long ago. The problem with truffle in that format is it lingers. You're burping truffle oil for 6 hours after
and that truffle oil sometimes can get pretty synthetic.
That's true. Yeah. All right, my last question for you. Your most favorite shopping experience anywhere in the world, where was it?
For like grocery store?
You're out somewhere in the world, you were grocery shopping, whether it's down the street or
I was in Erfurt, Germany, and I was competing in the World Culinary Olympics. And we had to go to a European grocery store. And I walked in there and went, holy shnikes. This is a different experience, not only in the price point, but like the unpasteurized, beautiful handmade cheeses, like the porcini mushrooms that made the whole grocery store smell like a truffle. I mean, the quality of ingredients, how the price point of it and just the overall craftsmanship of those things blew me away. I was so happy, but I was so sad that this would probably be the last time I would see something like that. Like a European grocery store, especially in Europe where France is so close, Italy is so close, the things that you can get there, it just changed the whole shopping experience. It was lights out, life-changing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I just got a little choked up there.
Yeah, dude, I was so sad. I was so sad. Hey, this was great. And anyone listening right now, you have a beautiful blue piece of painter's tape over your pocket that says Chef's Day Off and the greatest permanent marker handwriting. So
thank you. You're the only person I needed to impress with that.
Dude, you nailed it. Actually, like, it's almost identical to our label. So that made me smile, man. Thanks for doing that.
That's awesome. Thanks, man.
Ciao, dude.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Shelf Space. If you like what you hear, I would be eternally grateful for a 5-star rating and a quick share on social. Your support means the world to me and our partners, TD, Fasken, Rima, Pacific Coast Distribution, Picnic Creative, and Benchmark 60. For bonus content and resources from our sponsors, go to shelfspacepodcast.com. I'm Corbin Hebert. I'm glad we're on this rocket ship together. I'll see you in the future.